Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
Kind of is a Corona episode, isn't it, Will, huh? Welcome, guys. Excited. I got my St. Patty's Day shirt on. It's going to be a good night. Got a good guest. I'm just ready. So I want to apologize real quick. Last week it ended really quick, and I'm trying to work that out. I hope it does not happen at all tonight. I'm going to try to avoid all of that. All right. Let me go ahead and close all this stuff out of my screen. We got everything going good. All right, let's get the chat going. But first off, before I start, I have to go ahead and thank my sponsor, my presenter, Arlo Revolution. As you guys saw in the video, dude does great work. He's based out of Woodstock, Illinois area. So if you're in the area, definitely look him up. If you guys are out of town, if you're a band, anything, reach out to him. He does travel to Nashville a lot. I know he's done a lot of videos down in Nashville, but wedding films, music videos, you dream it, he can create it. So definitely check out arlorevolution.com if you guys can. And then to my two sponsors, as you can see on the screen, Joelle with Art on a Higher Wire, amazing and beautiful paintings that she does. Just check her out. Her work is just breathtaking at times. And then Janet Stokes Creative, amazing online marketing services, guaranteed to make companies be found and succeed on the web. Find them on Facebook. They're all over. So, yeah, guys, welcome to the show, and thank you, guys. It's going to be a big night. We're kicking off season 2. I'm very excited. The season, or everything we have this season, is going to be great. I'm pretty much already booked for the whole season, and I'm really excited to have some of my favorite artists coming on. And next week's going to be kicking it off with amazing and one of my favorite artists. I think we're having a new drinking game. Whenever I say amazing, just start drinking tonight. I've already said it like 10 times. But if you guys are looking at all in ways to support the show, check us out on Patreon. I did announce tonight's Patreon giveaway for March, so I'm excited. It is the church choir shirt and decal, another Jeremy Spillman book. So that's all lead into something. You guys will see that next month. If you are on our Patreon page, you guys already kind of know some secrets that's coming in season 2. But if you're not, go ahead and check us out on Patreon if you can. Because later on tonight, we're going to kick off something for the first time ever. So if you're listening live, check this out. I'll try to add everybody that joins during the show to our chat or to our group. But I'm going to have our first ever live after show, and I'm going to bring on some good guests and some friends with us. So our guest tonight, Strawberry, is going to be joining us for the after show, as well as Derek Frazee from last week, since we didn't get to join record one last week. And then one of my favorites from season 1, I'm bringing him back, Chris Johnson. And we're actually just going to have like a round table, just kind of sit down. We're going to chill. We're going to hang out. And we're just going to talk about what the heck is going on right now in the world. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be live. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be on my Patreon Facebook page. So if you're not in on it, everybody that's a private sponsor and more. I think it's a $5 membership. So everybody that grabs that gets in on the show tonight. And a part of the proceeds this month, next month, and all the way up until May is going to Nashville Tornado Relief Funds. So I cannot wait. It's going to be a crazy, crazy discussion tonight. But it's going to be about 15 minutes after this show ends. We're going to hop on Patreon, and we're going to be talking to you guys. So watch out. No holds barred, uncensored. We are going to have a blast. I'm sure Johnson's already writing down his notebook of like everything. So we're going to go for a half an hour I'm sure I don't know. We'll see what happens. But everybody that joins our Patreon that's in a private sponsor tier or higher is eligible every month for our giveaways. So every month they're going to be different. I'll mix them up, throw some different things in on there. This is excited. But if you can't, support us via Patreon. Always check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, anywhere. If you're listening to us on Apple, give us a 5-star review if you can. Share us with your friends. And it'll help us move up the charts and just get heard. This season, like I keep saying, we're going to have amazing, amazing guests this season. I cannot wait to announce them all. So next week, Ray Scott, I already hit in on about Jeremy Spillman. He's going to be on in April. So follow us on Patreon, everywhere you can. Like us on Apple. It's going to be a good time. So Let me go ahead. I'm just going to share these links in the chat right now if you guys are in the chat so that we can get ahead. And if you want to hop on Patreon, and then I'll get you guys added to that group tonight before we go live. So, yeah, I think that's probably about it. But, yeah, once again, I want to apologize for last week. It was a weird cutoff. I wanted to go end with Frazee and hang up with him, and for some reason, the whole system just went down. So I'm going to try to start avoiding that from happening ever again. I'm going to try to do a different technique with editing with our guests tonight so we do not have to have that same problem again. But we'll make up for it tonight in the after show. I promise you that with having Frazee back on. But I do want to take a minute before we go ahead and jump in with everybody or with our guests tonight. And just kind of talk really quick what's going on and wish everybody just, hey, stay safe, stay healthy, do what you guys can. If you don't have to leave the house, don't leave the house. It's just crazy with what we're witnessing right now in the world. And I'm seeing it firsthand because where I work is still going to stay open. They just opened up the first ever. I'm really proud to say that I work for Rise in Mundelein here in Illinois, but they just opened up the very first ever drive-through for medical cannabis in the state of Illinois. So it's kind of a history today for something, a new step for the state of Illinois that they actually have. And it's pretty cool for them doing that. So I still see these people that are trying to go out because they have to go out because, I mean, what I deal with is medicine for some people. But if you do not have to go out, try to stay in, guys. Try to stay healthy. That's all I really could say because it's just going to get worse before it gets better if we don't listen to what's going on. And we're going to talk more about it on the after show, I'm sure. I really want to get everybody else's opinions tonight on what it is. But like I said, if you guys can stay healthy, stay safe. I just wish everybody peace over the next few weeks. So, hey, let's go ahead and get the show started. What do you guys say? Enough rambling. It's 8 minutes of rambling. I'm ready to get this damn show started. You guys ready to bring them on? All right, guys. I'm going to bring on my good friend Strawberry once we... There we go. Here we go. What is up, dude?
What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
Not too much. How you been?
I'm doing well. I'm on quarantine.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Welcome to the show. Cheers. I see Flat Johnson hanging in the back. Look at that.
Yeah.
I got a question to ask you about yours later, but we'll get to that way to the end of the show. So, but how's life in Georgia right now, being quarantined on all this?
Oh man, it is what it is. It's still regular outside. There's people driving around like it's no big deal, but it's beautiful weather. That's the crappy part is it's so damn nice outside. You know, you want to go out and do some stuff, but I just don't want to risk it with my kid and then going to work and all that.
I see you still have the beard, so that's a good thing. I mean, you didn't listen to the CDC on that part.
Yeah, okay.
That's like I'm like, yeah, nobody's gonna listen to that. They might not go to the bar, but they ain't gonna shave their damn beard.
No, they can do that. Oh, the whole come and take it thing if you want to.
Yeah, right. Like here it is. It's yours if you want it.
So y'all still got snow up there?
We don't. We are actually. It's starting to break a little bit. We're starting to get a little springy. It was probably in the 50s today. I didn't really go out too much. I was home today with a lot of stuff, and I mean, this whole thing's it's crazy. Living close. I mean, I know you're close to Atlanta, but just being close to Chicago and seeing it all spread. And now the report tonight, everybody out of Midway Airport, a lot of the air traffic controllers are coming down with it. Yeah. And all these basketball players are coming down with it. And I'm thinking people have had it for a while. So
Thomas Dunham's old women, they're getting it.
Well, they closed the nursing homes down early, so at least Thomas ain't spreading it around. So someone needs to quarantine him, keep him away from his ladies, man. So, but yeah, man. Other than that, welcome. I'm so glad you're finally on the show. I know we've been talking for a while. We've been going back and forth to get you on. I wanted to get you on the first season, but with your day job, I know it's kind of been throwing everything off, and I mean, we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But
Central Time's past my bedtime, but
right.
So glad to get started up season 2 for you.
At least this worked out perfect. You get to kick off the second season, and you're on quarantine, so you don't have to get up early in the morning. I was saying, I hope you're drinking tonight. You got the hat going. I got the shirt on. It just says "Go Green or Go Home," but
American born Irish roots right there.
There you go. So it worked out perfect to have you on St. Patrick's Day. So I know we were talking about it. I'm like, all right, that's the date. We're going to go for it. And it just happened to be the kickoff. I mean, with Luke Dick postponing and whatnot, and Frazee closing out season 1 for me. It was just worked out perfect.
Shout out to Frazee. Awesome interview last week.
Oh, appreciate it, man. It was cool because we got deep on a couple of subjects, but hey, it's a new week. Now you got you on, so we're gonna see what's going on with you tonight. But I want you to tell everybody where you start, where your love of music started. Like, I don't want to talk about where your love for Eric Church or anything like that started.
Oh man,
where your music background, because you have a really cool. Your roots are pretty strong in music, and I want to know where it kind of came from.
Shit, man, my granddaddy, he had records galore. I got a 8-track player when I was a kid. I remember going to sleep to Stutter and Mel Tillis and all these old, 8 tracks. Listening to Alabama, going to the lake fishing, and we drive by Fort Payne, and my granddad would be like, "Hey, that's where Alabama's from." And it's like, as a kid, I was like, "Oh, we're in Alabama, Granddaddy. It's all right." But
my buddy actually that played the choir party last year, he's from Fort Payne, Jacob Stiefel.
Okay,
so he's from a Fort Payne area, or he's from Fort Payne.
You can spit and make it through that count like that.
Really?
It's so small, but yeah, just growing up. And then with my stepdad, it was listening to rock and roll. Like, love Metallica growing up, still do. Just like today, I've been jamming to Flogging Molly all day. That's one of my go-tos. Find ourselves in the same old mess singing drunken lullabies. So you can't argue with lyrics like that. So
I was actually right before I went live. I was watching Dropkick Murphys were still live.
Yeah.
And I was watching a little bit of them. I'm like, this is good. They didn't care. They were just playing like an empty venue or whatever and just having fun. You could tell they were probably drinking all day.
So, like, speaking of them, they've got, how Chris and all them, Frazee and all them went on that cruise, the BG.
Yeah.
Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys, and like 5 or 6 other bands were doing a cruise too here coming up. I was like, that would have been a killer thing to do if I could.
My liver started hurting the minute you said all that.
you get in the mosh pit, man.
Oh boy, that's probably a lot of Irish drinking right there. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they have enough alcohol, because didn't they almost run out of alcohol on the cruise that Johnson and Frazee were on?
That's what they said. Yeah, Eric did that last week, and that's all Johnson talked about. But
Could you ever imagine if they did a choir cruise? We'd sink the damn ship. We would.
I know. I'd get right. I'd get in trouble for jumping off of it.
Somebody would, but I think we'd probably sink it first. I mean, it would definitely be probably Titanic too if we had a church choir cruise. And you see driver playing his guitar as the boat's sinking.
Yeah, he would. Speaking of driver, man, I freaking love that guy. Excuse me, my language, y'all. I fucking love that. He is my guitar hero with lightning hands. Like from, we've talked about it all tons of times. From the beginning of the Small House shows to now, like, he gets me rowdy. Like it's like a Metallica show. It's just like
you sent a picture, but I did not save that picture. I know you sent a really old photo of Driver still being Driver like he is today.
Yeah.
This is an old one. We'll just go ahead and throw
like pre-Nashville Tattoos Driver.
Yeah, I mean, this one doesn't have Driver in it, I don't think, but it's still an older photo.
Yeah.
But I used to love when Driver would do some Metallica, and one of my favorites, I think I probably mentioned on the show before, they used to do Before She Does, and they would do Pantera Walk would be the intro.
Yeah.
Oh man, the minute Walk started firing up, Driver just get into character and go to town. I loved it. So that's probably what led you to church then, huh? Like, you had the Metallica background and you kind of, so where was your first show, or how did you first hear about church? Like, where did you discover them at?
That picture right there is actually my first show, first ECB show. It was and it was ECB. It was pre-Sinners. It was Chattanooga. I want to say like early 2006. It was like right before Sinners came out. I'd heard a song back, when you were giving your computer aids on LimeWire. And I was like, I can't remember what I was looking for, but
you actually were in the stages of hearing church on LimeWire.
Yeah.
Really? I must have missed on that.
that was how I got into him. And then one night we were like, hey, he's playing up here in Chattanooga at I want to say it was called like the Brew House or something like that. I know there's a brew house in Rome, but anywho, something like that. And I mean, just like a small show is, it was a van parked out front, like nobody was, charging him. Nobody was going up to, hugs, high fives, that kind of stuff. We were, like I said earlier, we were standing down on the floor, and it got a little crowded. And my wife said, "Hey, let's go stand up top." And the small bar. And so we just stood at like the front railing, and that was he had on he didn't have it there, but he had on a Abercrombie blue moose hat, and I was like,
Yep.
this always got on an Abercrombie hat, like.
So
And
that was after the green hat. He had an Abercrombie green hat prior to that.
He had like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, man, that was the first show, and ever since then it was like, hell yeah, every small bar show I could go to, Georgia, North Carolina, Chattanooga, Tennessee, wherever I could try and get to them. I met you at a small show long time ago. That was, when you were about half the size you are now.
I think we both were now.
Yeah, true.
What was the first show that you remember us meeting at? It had to be. Was it Wild Bills or no?
No, it wasn't Wild. It was before Wild Bills, because that was when he played.
I still remember you coming up, and I still remember the first time we talked. But you never really had social media, because we'll talk about it in a little bit. Your daytime job really didn't allow you to have social media much. And I think it was probably the age of MySpace is when Eric first started. It was before Facebook. I think Facebook was probably only a college thing at the time.
At the time, it was nothing but college.
Yeah.
That picture was like one of the first times I had, I guess you can say, met him. I got that shirt framed behind me, but that
Before
was
the beard.
that was a Wild Bill show that I'm trying to think what year that was. I got it up there. I think it says that was.
I think that shirt's like 08.
I got the ticket stubs in there.
Or
it says it was March 28th, 2009. So
2009. All right.
Yeah, and I got the meet and greet pass in there too. But yeah, like I had that shirt, like you said, about a year right in there leading up to it. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm wearing this thing. And I wore that shirt everywhere. I wore it to BG so many shows. Was just trying to this is like you said, before the social media hyping people, I was like, y'all got to check out this guy. Y'all got to check out this guy.
He was all over the place, huh?
Yeah.
So now, did you first hear of Eric, or like on the radio, or like what was the first song you heard, or what brought you like into him? Like what words?
Besides LimeWire pulled up. I want to say it was Guys Like Me. It was like
okay.
The first single.
So you didn't really Google, or you didn't not Google, but you didn't search Eric Church on LimeWire. Just kind of you're just looking at country music and it's popped up.
I was looking at something and it came up, and so then I started doing like Eric Church, and then you know how you go on YouTube back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. There was like nothing for for Eric, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna try and keep going to shows and whatnot. But it was.
Yeah. I think all I uploaded was just drunken videos back then.
I want to say the first thing I remember him on the radio was like Sirius XM played Guys Like Me, like the original album version, and then he started getting a little bit bigger. In fact, I still got it recorded somewhere. But him and Jeff did a you know how they do like a little acoustic thing.
Yeah,
him and Jeff did an acoustic thing, and that would have been a cool show to be at. But
yeah, that was that one that him and Ed did together. It was at the Wild Horse in Nashville. But that would have been cool to actually see one of him and Ed together. So
it's crazy.
That's cool that I'm kind of fascinated, because the first time I ever really heard that anybody looked up or found Church through LimeWire. So because I really thought LimeWire and Napster was, I know Napster was gone before then, but
something like that. But yeah, I was getting my computer aids, and I found God's gift of country music.
Oh man, it doesn't matter. Whatever you looked up, you'd always find something. It would always get you, like every other song you get like a virus or something. You're like, oh, I swear, was this a song?
Oh, that's a great picture too.
So what show is this one from?
I want to say that's Athens. I saw him so many times in Athens. One of the best shows. He opened up for Red Atkins, and that was a really cool rowdy show. But he had on, I want to say, like a Black Keys shirt. Maybe I can't tell on that picture, but man, we had that was before. I want to say before 09, right? Maybe it was before 2009. I can't remember, man. But you can all those pictures I sent you.
He almost looks clean shaven. That one.
He did, guys. I know y'all don't know. I sent Aaron a bunch of pictures, and there's some of Driver looking like a baby. There's some of
I just picked a few. I picked a handful here and there.
Jeff had some big old triangle chops. Ed Smoke is in a few of the pictures.
There's the one I was thinking about with Driver talking about.
Yeah. So
you're talking about Athens a little bit. Just to get off the Eric topic or the church topic real quick. Being from the Georgia area, were you ever a Corey Smith fan?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So when I moved out of Mississippi in 2005, I discovered Corey Smith, and Jillian and I would go see him all the time. I mean, now I still go see him as much as I can, but I know he was huge around like Georgia.
Yeah. He was trying to make it big for here and there, and then you know how radio stations and whatnot push certain people. I don't know. I guess they just didn't like something about him. And then I want to say something happened when he was trying to get like not a record deal, but like a songwriting deal. And something happened. I don't remember the whole story, but I love it.
Yeah, I know he had the record deal for a while, and then I mean, the first record he released on the record deal, I just wasn't a fan of because they took a lot of his older stuff that was really good and just made it really bad.
Yeah. 21 is the best song. Like I know everybody loves like, you know, some of his goofier songs.
Well, I like If I Can Do It Again. I mean, that's one of my favorites.
That's one that you would hear on the radio, but I don't know what it is, man. I love 21 just because, you know, it talks about a kid going and getting drunk and
and that was one of the ones they took. When he had the record deal, I think they put 21 on there, but he changed the lyrics, and it was cool. But it was like, nah, dude, I like the way it was. Keep it original, but he changed like, I don't know. It was just more of a, I don't know what lyrics he changed. There's like 3 or 4 different lyrics he changed in that. It kind of screwed up.
Johnson on the chat just said he wasn't radio friendly. It wasn't. He was.
I'm trying to scroll back and forth. I apologize if you guys are on the chat right now. My chat is not loading for some reason. Let me hit refresh. Give me 2 seconds. No, I'm not gonna do that. If I hit refresh, I lose the feed or something. I ain't gonna mess with that. Yeah, so I'm trying to go back and forth. So you guys aren't seeing your comments up on the screen yet. I'm trying to hope my chat refreshes here in a second so I can throw some up there. But I am trying to read them on the actual site over here. But I do see that Frazee crashed a few computers with his aides.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 21 was a good song. I'm trying to think of like some of the other ones, but what was the one he did? Like he had a graduation. I'm Not Going to Cry or something. That was another one that was just really good. But like you're talking, like he had some goofy songs, F the Popo and stuff. But when he had his deeper cuts are really good. Some of those ones. That
was a hard one for me to listen to because I was a child of a police officer, so it was like. You know, when my dad heard that in the house, it was it was a little rough.
And then like the song Chattanooga, I don't know if you ever heard that. He talks about where he got shut down at Chattanooga, and then he went back and played because the cops like totally shut off the whole show when he was singing that song. So, but if you ever seen a Corey Smith show, go see this guy. He is phenomenal. We'll get off the subject and go back to church. But I mean, I knew you were talking about Georgia. I was like, all right, gotta throw a curveball in here real quick.
There's a ton of artists we can listen to.
So we were talking about when you and I kind of first met, and I think it was probably around 2008, 2009, where we're looking at these pictures here. But I don't know where it was. I don't have my list with me. It's on a different hard drive. But where was your first? Were you on the old boards, on the old message boards and stuff?
Yes.
What was your name on there?
It's strawberry, something or other, strawberry. But the old school reddish brown color, remember? And then they came out with a terrible app. Very first app.
I still had that app for up to like a year ago. I finally deleted my phone
because people didn't believe it. But no, it was something like that. In fact, some of the tree choir things.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one and I got there like an hour late, and everybody
We
was
had one in Chattanooga that was close to you, right?
yeah. So, and
I think it rained at that one though, and they end up like ending early or something.
what's that?
I think they end up ending that one early or something. I think it rained that one. One of the ones rained at the tree choir or not. I remember because all the pictures, everybody's wearing ponchos.
That might have been the one I was at, because I know like I've got a goofy picture of you that I show my kids at school, but where it was sunny. But yeah, I want to say the one I was at was kind of rainy. But yeah, I got there late, and then I think I dug like maybe one hole, and then it was pretty much over.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right. I ended up finding that shirt I got from that. I don't know what happened to it, but I found a shirt on eBay a few years ago. You know, the mirror image, exact same shirt, kind of like the background of that picture with Driver and them. You know how they had them in the gray with tree choir on the back.
Yep.
So I found it, and I was like, I had to scoop it up. So
I see in the chat, Darcy, you said Corey is not touring right now doing medical issues. Going back to Corey Smith, I do think he was getting ready to tour again because he had eye surgery just recently. But yeah, I know he put a post out saying that everything was good. But I mean, heck, no one's touring now, so we'd love to see if he actually did. Hey, there goes my chat. Everything's working now. It's funny because like 100 chat or 100 messages popped up, so now I can start sharing them. But yeah, no one's touring right now, so we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, Johnson saying he wasn't radio friendly. If that ain't country, I love that song. I wanna see Johnson. Remind me later. Write that down. I'm gonna write that down. If that ain't country for our chat later, because there's some people in that song. Going back to Corey Smith, Strawberry, you know what song I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
I want to know when we do our after show live. I want to see who you guys all think they're talking about, like each line. What singer Corey Smith was talking about? Because I always think there's 3 singers that are top of my head that I think he's talking about in that song.
Well, I know he jammed on Kenny Chesney once or twice. He was like,
well, he calls Chesney out by name.
Talks about living in the islands now. He makes fun of him.
What happened to that Tennessean? But he calls Chesney out by name on that song. But right at the beginning, there's like 3 different verses where he's talking about different artists. And I think one of them is definitely Billy Ray, but we'll see. We'll see what everybody thinks on that one. But so where was your? I mean, you're on the message boards and everything else. When was your first real choir experience? Like really? 'Cause I know now. I mean, now I know. I think Tara said it. You got the church camp. You got everything else going on. I mean, you are part of the heart of the choir. I mean, I'm proud to say that because you keep it beating, dude. I mean, you are seriously like have one of the biggest hearts in the church choir. So where was your first choir experience? Where did you get a taste of the choir?
A taste of the choir. Oh man. There's been a few. Like my very first one, that was kind of hard to think about. There was a lot of people that went to, Wild Bill's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we lost. Look at that. We lost Strawberry. Come back in. He'll be back in a second. I promise you guys. See, this is what we get. You get the coronavirus. You start talking about LimeWire, and then we lose Strawberry. Let me send him in our quick link real quick and see. It's weird. Hang tight 1 second, guys.
Yeah.
You're back. All right. Sorry, dude. I do not know what happened. Let me add you back in. See, that's what I was just telling everybody. We were talking about the coronavirus, and we started talking about LimeWire, and then next thing I knew, you were gone.
That's all right. That's all right. You're number 1 in my book too. It's okay.
So, oh yeah. It reminds me of the
No,
Wheeler Walker episode, podcast where he's trying to interview Luke Combs. And he keeps hanging up on him.
Speaking of, Combs just did a live thing a little bit before our podcast, and it was good, man.
Well, I heard he did Fast Car.
Yeah, like that was worth tuning in by itself. Like, you're that full.
I want to go back and check that out, and then once our after show is done, I'll go back and check some of it out. But sorry you got cut off, man. Go ahead and continue. We're talking about kind of like your choir experiences when you got your first taste of the choir?
Oh, just like I said, there was a bunch of shows at Wild Bill's, and I would get there at 2 o'clock or something like that, and just start just partying in the parking lot. And that was before you had the Bluetooth or anything like that, so you had to just play CDs through your truck, and just had a cooler out and jamming, and people would come through and say hey, and I'm not the best with names, and I'm not about like, hey, look at me, like top dog or whatever. I just want to have fun and join and have fun with new people, and I loved introducing myself to people that if I see somebody in an Eric Church shirt, I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna say something and say, hey, that's awesome. I'll give, if I see somebody that's a fan, I'll give a koozie out, if I have extras, you know how it goes. Just to keep promoting that guy. So, but yeah, Wild Bills, and then one of the most epic ones was Red Rocks, meeting Joel.
Okay.
I finally got to meet Nick, you know who Nick is.
Yeah.
And
Damn, I got that picture.
I miss him like crazy.
Nick was a hell of a guy. I mean, if you guys don't remember, Nick was the director of fan engagement with Eric Church for a while, but he always felt like he would go the extra mile for a lot of people. And I mean, that was really before the choir started growing to where it is now. So you were able to go the extra mile.
He did. When they first came out with the patches, the gloves come off patches, something happened, and I guess mine didn't come through in the mail or whatever, and I wrote him back and I was like, hey man, do you have one? And within like 3 days it was to me. He didn't charge me none of that stuff, but I was like, this dude's a good guy.
Yeah, he was definitely one Red Rocks. I had to throw your Mountain Dew and honey up there. I figured you're probably drinking on it tonight too.
Yeah, man.
I think the first time I ever tried that was with
it was
you.
in Tuscaloosa. I walked by. I gave you my whole cup.
It was good too.
It was me and Johnson and Hardy and Jason and some other people. Like we were parked over on the side over where you were standing in line. And we're gunning beers and getting rowdy.
You guys were singing Johnson's truck in the air conditioning for the longest time.
Yeah, like we had parked next to each other over there hanging out. So
that was a fun show, man. I really like those two shows. There's Nick.
Yeah, good dude.
So, good old Nick. So we're talking about Red Rocks now, me and Joel and hang out with Nick. What was kind of your takeaway from Red Rocks? I've never personally been there. I want to go really bad, but it's kind of cool talking to everybody that was at the church shows. I know I was talking to John. I think Johnson or Frazee, one of them were there. I know we talked to Taylor about it. What was your take on Red Rocks, man?
It honestly, it started with a dream, I guess you can say. Like, you know how it is. You got those go-to you want to go to. It had always been a dream. I had friends that went there for Flogging Molly, for Fish, and all these other, OAR and things like that. And I was like, man, I got to go. Dave Matthews Band. I was like, man, I got to go one day. And I was at school when they announced that he was going to be playing Red Rocks. And I called up the wife and said, hey, do you want to do this? And she was like, get it. And so, you know how hard it was to get tickets. Like, I happened to get 2 tickets really quick. So I scooped them up. We did the whole stay in the hotel with the rest of the choir thing. But
nice.
That was very special because, I only got to go the first night. I didn't get to go both nights.
Okay.
But shout out to Amy from Philadelphia, Philly, wherever she's from up there in terrible baseball country. She helped me with the 2 side posters from night, for the rest of the set. But that show was just, to me, was something that it was one of those where you turn around like at Nissan Stadium, where you turn around and you look and you're like, wow, this is legit. And for him to be acoustic the way he was, it was something special. I'll never forget that. I got kicked out of the front row. I got kicked out of the front row because I kept throwing my flag up, and the security guy goes, he doesn't want rowdy fans up here. And I was like, do you know who the fuck we're seeing? You're completely wrong, my guy. Like,
Yeah, when has church never won rowdy friends anywhere or fans anywhere?
Yeah. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I guess at the time we didn't know they were recording it. Sort of, we didn't quite fully know. So
Thomas saying that LA is baseball country. There ain't nowhere is baseball country right now. So
no, man, go Braves. Somebody saw the Braves hat earlier on church.
yeah,
He played opening day. He played opening day at Turner Field. I mean, that was the first time I had met him. That was like before flip phones had pictures and shit. But my wife was like, "Oh yeah, I got a great picture with her camera," and the battery was dead, and so I couldn't prove it to everybody. I was like, you seen that meme where the one guy is standing at the front rail and it's an empty venue?
Yep.
I was that guy. I was that guy standing at the front of the stage singing every song, and everybody else is like 100 feet behind me, just all right, cool. One dude.
Hey man, that's showing dedication and passion right there.
I don't give a damn how stupid I look.
So you're talking about going way back to the boards, and we're talking about the old brown and dark brown and whatever boards they had. They're ugly, and your name was Strawberry. Where did the Strawberry name come from? You gotta share it with us because everybody knows you as Strawberry. Because one, your daytime job barely lets you even have a social media page, so you have to kind of have a side name. So that's why you do have a side name like that. But where did the name Strawberry? Where was it born?
Ah, man. Growing up, I rode skateboards and BMX bikes and stuff like that. I still do. But I went to a skateboard park. I didn't have a helmet, and my stepdad, my old man, said, "Hey, I got a helmet," and it was literally from like 1987, 86. ProTech pink helmet. I still got it in the garage, man. It's cracked, but I started wearing it, and guys that I started riding bikes with, they couldn't. You know how it is. You remember somebody's name, you get nicknames, and they just call me Strawberry Shortcake, and it stuck like glue, man. Every BMX race, every skate park, it was like, nobody knew my name, and it stuck everywhere, into sports, into high school. It was like people didn't know I had teachers calling me by Strawberry. It was crazy.
That's hilarious.
So
that is funny. Yeah. So I mean, normally it's childhood nicknames and everything else that you kind of get from it. So I had to ask that question because I was like, that's how I've always known you. I've always known you as Strawberry. Like, I know your real name, but it's like I don't ever use your real name because I don't need to. Because
only a few people use that real name.
Yeah.
That's my government name.
And if we ever need to use it, then there's probably something wrong now. We're probably using it for a real reason now.
You got a call because I was in jail and Colette called you.
Exactly, and we're scrambling for some bail money or something like that. But I mean, we're past those points.
You're right, Johnson. Johnson knows that. Frazee knows.
What do they say? Oh, they know. Yeah, we'll be talking about that later on tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, bro.
I'm sure that'll be coming up tonight. We'll be talking some bail money. Might need some podcast bail money later on.
Sorry, just real quick. Shout out to Jeff Brown. I don't know if he's on here, but Jeff is the man. He helped out. He's helped out a lot of people of our friends, and he is a stand-up guy. Like, my heart is black compared to Jeff Brown's heart. That's how good that dude is. So.
Yeah, huge heart, and I know he's scrambling now to figure out something. Him and I were talking about the other day because there's so many artists right now that are without gigs, without anything, and I really want to try to do something and set something up to where we could do something with a bunch of different artists and have a platform where they could sell like their music or their merch or anything like that. Because I don't know when shows are going to start up again. I mean, it might be a while.
That was it right there.
I
cried driving home that night. Legit.
What happened? You guys share the story then.
Oh man, sorry, I'm pouring another drink.
Oh, you're all good. I poured another water.
We've been which props to you, by the way, for being sober.
How many days it's been? It's like 70 or 80 or so. My goal is 100, so I want to get to 100 and see what happens after that.
Then we party.
Hell yeah.
No, I finally got an opportunity to take my daughter to an Ashley show. She loves listening to Ashley. She begs to come downstairs and put on her vinyl. She's got the CD in her playroom that she jams to anytime it's on the radio. And legit, she showed how big of a fan she was that show I took her to. I couldn't really take her to other ones just because of traveling and then things of that nature. But this one was in Atlanta, and so I called up Jeff and he worked his magic and we were right there behind him and Candace and everybody.
Nice.
Excuse my language. You can see goat fucker right there. and it was unbelievable, man. Like,
it looks like a hell of an experience, man.
He set her up on stage. Some of the pictures I got, like, I'm gonna get them framed, but like, I mean, she's inches away from Sancho jamming, and she was up there for like 3 or 4 songs before security came and said something. But she rocked her face off that night.
I'm sure Ashley didn't care.
No,
Like,
it was great. She had a cool. Ashley actually was stand up. She had a cool little side. You know how they like to talk in between songs.
Yeah.
She had a side thing to the parents that were there with kids, because Bryce wasn't the only one. But she said that it was cool to see kids up there because it gives them a dream to want to be up on the stage. And
oh yeah,
I was like, okay, I'm gonna water my beard over here on the side. So
I took Jackson to a couple fan club parties with Eric, but I'm waiting, man. I think maybe the next tour or so he'll be a little old enough. Like, I just thought he's gonna be 6 this year. I was like, I won't wait till he's about 6, 7 or so, and then really take him to his first church show. So let's see what happens. But
we did the first church show a while back for that ATL Live, and she got to rock with us and the church camp. You know, Taylor and Mitch and John and Chris and Clark and the Parks family and Thomas. Like,
I just had that picture up. I should have kept it up there, but that was a hell of a group you guys had.
Oh man, it was. So we had like seats down like up like first or second row up near the stage.
Yeah.
And Chris and all them were upstairs, and I was like, we're going upstairs and hanging out with our people.
Oh hell yeah.
And to Marshall that night downstairs and underneath the thing, and I was like, hey man, and the words of Thomas Dunham, we here. Brendan and Marty Smith that night, that was awesome.
That's cool. He was just hanging out at the show too.
Yeah, see,
I thought him
in church.
One of the Double Down shows, I don't know if it's St. Louis or where we were. Might have been St. Louis. I ran into him. He was there actually with Cole Swindell, and they're both in the pit. And that was an interesting night. I think it was St. Louis.
That's who you got to get on the show is Aaron Lewis.
Oh, Aaron Lewis? Yeah, that'd be a good one. That would be a good one. But yeah, it was Marty Smith and Cole Swindell were in Eric's pit. And I was just like, what the hell is going on here? This is pretty neat. Just all these guys hanging out. I remember during Holding My Own, I ran into a lot of the Cubs players too. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, a couple of them they played, I think they played the Cardinals or somebody during the day, and then they're all at the church show that night. I was like, this is freaking awesome. Hanging out with all the Cubs players there.
Stupid Cubs.
Yeah, okay, Braves fan.
Shop live, baby. Shop live.
So we'll see what happens soon. But yeah, so look at this photo, man. This looks like it was a long day for you here on this one.
Oh man, that was Jesus. That was either Tuscaloosa or Orange Beach. I think that was Orange Beach. The next night after Tuscaloosa, it
was hot days out there.
We all drove down from Tuscaloosa that night, and then literally partied the next day. You know how we did and outside and in the hotel, but yeah, we all got pretty sun blistered. That was fun. And I think Taylor and Mitch like dipped out that night and drove to Atlanta, and I was like, just pull me in tow so I can get home. But we left the next morning.
That was when was that when he did? Is that when Church did the 2 shows back to back in Tuscaloosa, not Birmingham?
Yeah,
Orange Beach?
He did Tuscaloosa and then Orange Beach, and then the next night he did Willie's thing up in like New York because Taylor
like Massachusetts or somewhere. Like, yeah, she hauled ass up there.
Everybody's blasting me about the frog from.
What frog?
Oh man, I got that video somewhere. That picture.
Uh-oh.
We were at Tuscaloosa, Orange Beach, and doing all we can just to stay chill.
Yeah,
There was a squash paper flat, had it been like 3 weeks old, dead frog.
Oh no.
And I was like, you know what? Let's see how much money we can get if I eat this. So we were literally like taking money from people, and I owed Chris for the ticket. Like I think I got like $40, and I just turned around and put it in his pocket and ate the frog. But you know, that was a good trip.
I really hope you had a lot of honey and Mountain Dew in you that night.
No, I was sober as can be because we were stuck outside in the heat.
Yeah. So. I remember I haven't told this story much, but after we left Orange Beach, we had to drive back. I think we were flying out of Birmingham, and we had a really, really early flight out of Birmingham that night or that next morning. I remember I was with Jillian and Tony, and we're driving back, and I think we all did a couple hours. Well, when we were coming back, we saw that we were going past Hank's grave, where we could get off. Was I think Montgomery or now? Where's he buried at? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, Hank Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Montgomery, isn't it? Why am I?
Is that what it is?
Alabama. All right. Sorry, I had to Google it real quick. But yeah, we're coming up and we're going through Montgomery, and I look over at Donnie. I'm like, dude, we should get off and go check out the grave. I'm like, real quick, Jillian's in the back seat and sleeping. So we get off there. We're a couple hours out from Birmingham, and we're probably making our flight. We're right on time to make our flight. Well, we go, and the grave is right across the street from a cop station, but all the gates were closed. So I'm like, if the gates are closed, we're not going to try to go in. If the gates are open, we'll just drive in. If anybody says anything, but like, whatever. We're from Chicago. We just wanted to see it real quick and whatever else. Well, we just ended up going around the whole cemetery. We didn't get to go in, and we're going down the street. And right before we get on the highway, there's a Waffle House to the right. And of course, we're doing our typical, we're just busting out laughing about Waffle House jokes. Just then, we look to the left, and there's a guy running down the street with a gun. Just bang, 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 start shooting. We take off out of this red light, get on the highway, and just haul ass out of there. We get off like maybe 3 exits down, wake Jillian up. You're driving. And then once she started driving, we told her what happened. She goes, "You freaking assholes. What the hell?" Starts yelling at us. But I'm like, I still remember that day. Like, I'm glad he was pointing the gun the other way because we just saw it because right when we took off, all these cops came running out of the Waffle House. We were laughing because there's like 3 cop cars outside the Waffle House. We're like, okay, what's going on? And all of a sudden, this guy's running on the street shooting a handgun off. I'm like, what the hell? Like, never again are we going to Montgomery. Like, we're staying far away from this place. But
the only place I know, I've heard some stories about Montgomery, but I've heard Memphis is rough too, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Memphis is rough.
I'm from Atlanta, so Atlanta has some rough. I ain't scared to go anywhere in Atlanta, but I'm kind of nervous to go somewhere in Memphis. Or
we talk about rough. I mean, we could talk about Chicago for a few hours, but Memphis is, if you stay to Beale Street and you don't go any further off of Beale Street, it's all right. One of these days, I'll share a story with everybody or with you and let you know about my time where I thought I was dead. So there's a picture that goes along with it with my buddy Q and my buddy Matt, and we're on Beale Street. And I'll never, ever forget that night because I literally thought our night was over because we went about 2 blocks off of Beale Street the wrong way, and we were being followed. We were being led by somebody, and we should never have followed this guy.
Everybody on Beale Street died.
Man, no, we lived, but we were not far from the FedEx Forum, so yeah, just don't stay out or veer off Beale Street when you go to Memphis because you never know what's going to happen on that one. So, all right, man, let's see. Man, we're
pictures right there too.
Flying through this. We're definitely flying through the show.
Those 2 pictures are at your house, actually.
Yep. Yeah, that was about a year ago almost. We're coming up on it.
Yeah.
About the years we had I had a little pre-party here, and then we all went to the church show in Chicago that night. So that was a hell of a good time.
shout out to the Chief Band.
Yeah, man, those guys are awesome.
Mike and them were awesome.
Yeah, Suvaka, I think, played. Trevor and Joey played. They just did a live thing last Saturday too, I think they had last week from his living room. They did a little show. But so many living room shows now going on. It's pretty cool to see everybody coming together. But I keep seeing everybody talking about, do you think church is going to do one? Do you think church is doing one? Dude, church, when he's home, he's home. He doesn't care.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
If he did a living room show, I'd be surprised.
Do you remember him doing the MTV Cribs or whatever it was?
Dude, he looked so awkward when he was doing that and talking about it and walking through it. But what's the coolest thing you remember from that episode?
That episode? Oh man, the coolest thing from his house?
Yeah. I still tell Jillian to this day, if I ever build my own house, this is something I want in my house.
I can remember the weird ass picture of his dog.
Yeah, Quincy or what?
Yeah, like
no, they talked about the shower. I'm like, that is the
coolest
thing. So they each had their own bathroom. Him and Catherine each had their own bathroom, but the shower connected to two bathrooms. So that's kind of like where they meet in the morning. But then when they showed the shower, like it would have like the shower heads like on the wall, the ceiling. I'm like, that's what I want. I'm like, that looks like a badass shower. Just like this looks like a cool shower. So
and now those things are like normal. That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. I got the rain thing, but yeah, you go into any other showers, you get 10 different shower heads everywhere.
And the people in the chat, y'all know what we're talking about, right? That dog painting of like I don't even know what kind of dog it is. It's a little tiny dog, and I hate tiny dogs.
It was is his dog Quincy? I'm trying to think.
Little black and brown faced dog. So
there used to be right here, dude. I freaking found it. I wonder if I can save it and show it
on YouTube.
No, I found the picture that you're just talking about. So let me see if I can throw it up here real quick.
What picture?
Of
a frog?
No, no frog pictures. I promise.
I'll put up that. Yes, that picture, man. So awkward.
That was his dog Quincy. Yeah,
so awkward.
But that was from the Cribs episode.
And Eric's like Joe Dirt patched beard. He's got like little patches. Like, oh man.
Yeah, it is hilarious. Yeah, Frazee said me in the middle. Hey, that's why I always called it mini pincher. He's saying it is. But yeah, it is a hilarious episode. I don't know if it's on YouTube still or if you can still find it anywhere. But if you ever find it again, it just.
I mean, it's a beautiful like country house, like, and I don't know if that's the one he still lives in or not. Like, I'm not one of those.
Yeah. Well, I know he built his ponds and stuff, so he's probably long after that.
We've paid for that pond, right?
Oh, I'm sure I did. Sure, we all did in some way. We're still filming.
Taylor Mitch paid for the fountain in the middle of it.
Yeah, right. I think I probably paid for the driveway.
Man, that was the camp out picture. Sorry, I was just looking at the picture real quick, and then I saw you had the one with Job and them from the party after the next day.
I don't know if this is the link. I'm going to try to share this in the chat. If you guys see it, I don't think it is, but if anybody ever finds it, I'll try to post it.
Jeremy Cole on the chat. Shout out CMT Cribs. Yeah, same.
Yeah, it was CMT Cribs. I just shared. I don't know if it's the link or not, but yeah,
there you go.
Cool. It was CMT Cribs. It was a pretty cool little thing. It's a funny picture, definitely a funny picture. And let's go through his house. It's a quick little 10 minutes. I think they do.
Oh, I don't even think it was that long. It was quick.
Like a little garden he had outside, but it was hilarious. If you can find it, it's Eric just being very awkward in front of a camera. Like you could tell, like he just does not want CMT in his house, but like,
and that's what's crazy is like everybody in our group. Hey, watching, don't get mad at me. Don't hate on me. Eric portrays like he's a super duper badass. Like, bro, you got a life-size picture of your dog in your house. Like,
and he wears
he's like portraying I'm the the hard motorcycle rider or something like that. And then you got this going on. It's funny.
And what about the ascots he wears? I mean,
Yeah.
So you can't forget about the ascots now.
How does he not sweat when it's like we're dying, we're freaking dying at shows, and he's wearing a damn leather jacket, like
and 20 scarves over there.
20 scarves that Joel has all of them.
Yeah. I know there has to be some kind of fans on there when he's wearing that leather jacket, because that leather jacket looks hotter than shit. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure they got like fans and air conditioning and all that stuff.
I know how we get in the pit, so but I don't know how the heck he does it.
Yeah, see, like I mean, we'd be sweating our asses off down there, and he's like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm just gonna come down in the middle of the sweat and hug everybody,
Right?
Hug all the weirdos."
We're just over here to say, yeah, sweating in the pit. So you mentioned, I want to bring this up real quick. You mentioned Wild Bills earlier.
Yeah.
So let's see. I tried playing this earlier. I'm gonna try it again. Let's see. This is a video I had. I'm gonna see if I mute my mic. I'm gonna mute my mic. Strawberries, yours will still be on.
Oh, is that a countdown New Year's? Yeah, so years ago, Wild Bills church played New Year's, and that was like the owner or some shit like that, and he was 2 sheets to the wind, that dude. But I think I was over on the right.
Turn my mic back. I'm sorry. I want to turn my
You
back.
good?
My back
I was
on.
over on the right-hand side, up by the bar.
So yeah, what Strawberry was saying. Sorry, I saw a Frazee picture pop up. What you were saying is this was New Year's Eve, and we were in Wild Bills in Atlanta, Georgia, and I think it's the only New Year's Eve show that Eric's ever played, and it's actually kind of funny. You gotta watch it.
Party in the house.
So yeah, this is the owner of Wild Bills. He almost falls over driver's board here in a second. So if you guys are tuning in and you guys are listening on Apple or anything else, make sure you guys come back and watch YouTube versions because we do share a lot of videos and pictures during the episodes. Like this one here. There goes driver running across the stage somewhere. So this is one of the times where you and I were hanging out and we really didn't know who we were.
Yeah, like I think I saw you that night, like over at the bar, and then that was pretty much it. Like I think that night I was loose too, just because New Year's, But
if you guys want to see this video, it is on YouTube. It's one of under my Shriver Diver account. If you guys want to go ahead and look at it,
it's Shriver Diver. Going back
OG.
Going back OG names.
Yes. Watch, Eric would come around and he's telling everybody Happy New Year's, but I think I have an empty cup around.
Yeah, there you go. Bing. That was the hair days.
Well, see, yeah. See, the owner will come over here and fill up my Jack cup in a minute. It's kind of fun because Eric will see it. Catherine's over here on the side of the stage. In 1 second, you'll see Eric run straight to the back. He goes back there to hug Catherine. You see Catherine's way back in the corner. But yeah, if you guys are watching this video, this is New Year's Eve years ago with Eric. It's a cool little video from Wild Bills. I just wanted to share. This is probably one of the first couple of times Strawberry and I hung out and had a few drinks, not really knew one another, but you can see the old school cameras. Look at the cameras, dude.
Old school, man.
Oh, this is the funny part. So this guy will come over here and top me off, and Eric sees it. Eric's sneaking up behind him, like, "Whoa, dude! Wait, hold up!"
Didn't he take the bottle from him?
He's like, "I need some too, dude. Hold on." And then Eric cheers me. He's like, "Yep." That's one of my favorites. I love that.
Those were the Ed Smoke days. Smoke, man.
Let me go ahead and clear this up. All right, that was a cool little video I want to show you guys. You could go down a rabbit hole of my old YouTube channel, and sometimes I'll go on there and watch these old videos. So, all right, man. Well, I want to bring up a couple other things real quick before we're just running out of time here. I got all these pictures yet, You got to talk about. You got this really cool. This is the picture I was talking about with Frazee. I was gonna pull up. There's flat. Oh no, that's flat strawberry hanging around there.
Yeah.
That's your flat strawberry. We're gonna talk about flat strawberry too a little later.
Yeah, man.
But I want to know where this flag started from because you have. I don't know how many signatures do you think you have on this thing?
Oh man, that's so that
Well,
was
you have one that has a bunch of
the
signatures.
first one I got. That was the first flag I got, and I think I got it for like Red Rocks, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna, they wouldn't allow me to bring like the post, so I could wave it.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, I'm gonna try and get people to enjoy this, and I don't think I had anybody sign it. I was flying it at one of the Gwinnett shows.
Mm-hmm.
I met Clark's people, Clark's family and group or whatever. But all of a sudden, this big ass black SUV comes rolling through, and the driver like rolls down the window and goes, "Are you Strawberry?" And I was like, I was like, "Am I hiding my drinks?" I was like, "Am I in trouble?" Like, and I was like, "Watch this be somebody that from Eric's people or whatever," and it wasn't. It was Joel and Dion, and it was the Norwegian chef. Hey, you go ahead, the Strawberry. You go do it. How you doing, buddy? And so Joel jumps out. Donnie and Amanda jump out, and like some other people jump out, and we just have this big ass party in the parking lot. And that night, I was so close to going because the next night was Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
I was so close to going, and I couldn't figure out a way, family things, couldn't figure out a way to go. So I said, Joelle, take this, and legit gave her the flag. And ever since then, we've just been getting people to sign it. And so I was like, I got to get another, I got to get, another one. I had another one that I gave Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Time I met him, I gave him the flag and a big ass bottle of Jack. And he's been in my heart ever since. But so I've just been I got this flag. You've seen it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The one you've been around. How many signatures do you think you have on that thing right now?
Oh man, there's a ton on here.
Eric signed it a couple of times, hasn't
he? He signed it once or twice. Yeah, I think once, but I mean, something I can see right now. Johnny front row.
Yeah.
Johnny. I love that freaking guy, and he just disappears like the hurt often.
He will, but I will tell you, I'll let you know a little secret. He's in season 2. He's going to be on. He'll be live.
There.
Oh, look at that name. I know that guy.
Yeah, man. It's just been a thing. Like I let Chris come rolling through before the Opry show, and I gave him a flag and a pole, and him and Hardy were out there, jamming in the parking lot flying them. So it's just a show. It's just a party. We just want to. I love getting people to come by and say hey and introduce themselves, and I'll introduce myself and share a beer too, and stories like Joel and Dion. We gotta.
I just saw Johnson's comment because my comments aren't working again. I'm sorry, guys, but I went on Facebook and saw the quick comment that says "Do the Dion voice, love it," and I'm like, oh, that's funny.
So it was like me and Nina, me and Nino and Maddie, Hardy Party, like Taylor and everybody at the house. And like I show up in Nashville, they're all hanging out at the house, and I show up, and they have like this. It looked like they were having a meeting around this round dinner table, and I just walked in and I gave everybody a hug, and then I went to Dion. I was like, "Hey, Dion, what you going to do? Go to the show tomorrow." Like nobody knows what Dion's ever saying.
Dude, that sounds a little St. Patrick's on. It sounds a little Irish.
No, like I can do it sometimes, and then sometimes it's terrible. But like right after the Nissan show, same show, we had like I was damn near pissing myself. We were laughing so hard at it. So
what was what's your take on the Nissan show? Do you want to see more stadiums in his future, or do you think that you want him to stick to arenas? Like, where do you want to see church go after that, based on what you saw at Nissan?
Honestly, I absolutely loved that show,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not him. Like, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people will give me some hate for it, but you know how it was. We were up front, and looking back, that's a huge venue. Every
Mm-hmm.
stage is huge. Now, don't get me wrong, he could do that kind of a show, but not by himself like he did that night. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like when you play for 3.5 hours by yourself, like the night before when he came out and had drinks with us, he said, like, I'm exhausted just doing sound check,
Yeah.
much less doing, the whole show. So I could see him doing a show like that, but he would have to have some kind of a help. That would be too hard.
I mean, he could still do a 2-hour show. I mean, don't get me wrong, like a headline gig, but he's going to have to bring another powerhouse with him.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, case in point, proven Taylor and all of us when we were at Atlanta Live, when you looked out, like there wasn't, and this is the whole Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. There was people already gone after Luke played, and it was like, this is why we're here. So, but
see, I don't think, like, I know last week with when Frazee was on, him and I were kind of talking a little bit about it, and I know we talked about he would have to bring like Luke Combs or somebody with him to kind of even do this and do a big tour like this. But I don't know if I want to see Luke Combs. I want to see Eric go out with like a rock band. Like when he took Hailstorm out on the road with him, I thought that was freaking awesome. And I always joked around like his manager John Peets also manages Black Keys. It'd be really cool to see like Church Black Keys like a stadium tour, co-headline stadium tour.
I think that would be where it's at. Some kind of a cross thing. Like, there's not too many country acts that I would want to see with Eric. Like that Ashley Brothers Osborne and Eric show. That was a great thing. Could it do like a full tour? Yeah, but I feel like a cross thing would be really cool. Somebody, you add in like a Gary Clark Jr. or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that I don't know the correct. I mean, I know the correct word. I just can't say it right now. Like something that bounces off the other artists. You know what I mean? Like they connect to each other. So I don't know.
Can you imagine if him and Bruce did like a co-headlining tour?
Who's that?
Him and Bruce Springsteen did like a co-headline tour together.
Who's opening for who? Like,
well, they'd have to draw straws. I mean, it would have to be one of those. It would be like, well, I'm not comparing it to Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie type thing, but it was like when they went on, they kind of like they would trade off. Like one night one would open, one night the other would open, type thing. But
Frazee has a good point. I've said it before too. I think TC3 would be awesome to play with Eric.
Oh yeah.
TC3 would be that legit hair rock group that's on the verge of both sides of country and whatnot. But it all depends on what Eric's playing. If he's playing just an hour and a half set, but I don't think he'll do that 3-hour plus thing anymore.
So. No, I'm thinking he goes down to 2 is what I'm thinking. I don't know. I mean, I will see what happens, but yeah, I mean, TC3 would be cool. I don't know if him and TC3 would do well together in a stadium or in a arena, stadium, but well, we'll see. I mean, I think what's going on in the world right now is going to change the touring aspect as we know it. I think a lot of things are going to change when we get on the other side of this. So I know what we're probably talking about now is probably going to be completely different in like 2 months.
Oh yeah. And that's if these artists even want to go back out. Like think about C2C, like everything getting canceled the way it is. Like, I mean, it's sketchy now. Like it's going to be on all these people's radar.
And,
all their radar.
I know there was supposed to be a big convention this coming up weekend in St. Louis. It's for like haunted houses and stuff called Transworld. And they were talking today, like they're getting ready. They have a no refund policy, but they're going to refund all these people their money. But like, if we refund your money, we're pretty much going to have to go under because we're going to be broke.
And that's what sucks.
We had to pay for marketing. We had to pay for the room. We had to pay for the rentals. We had to pay for all this stuff. We're not getting our money back, but we want to make sure we offer you guys your money back and everything else. And then I read stuff like that, and I'm like, just like it's just killing everybody. Like the economy is like, well, I don't want to say it's killing the economy, but it's killing the industry, the artist industry, with different musicians and everything. Because I don't think a lot of them are going to be able to come back from this.
No, I would, and then that's the thing is like not everybody's on the same page. Like you think about a big show like this, you've got 50,000 people. Half of them will want their money back, and the other half will be like, I'll wait and I'll keep my ticket and see, when it's rescheduled. And then if all else fails, I'll sell my tickets to somebody else.
Yep.
And keep that dream alive. But then you got some people that just want that refund, and I don't blame them one bit. Sometimes I need that too.
Yep.
Hashtag
I know Jeff Brown just said in the chat too, the industry is going to be different. It is. It's going to be completely different. It's gonna turn everything around, and I want to see where it's going to come out and how America's going to come out of it. But
the thing is, I think it's going to help out a bunch of smaller venues. It's going to go back to a bunch of smaller venues. There's going to be a lot of new groups, new bands, new artists come out that you're going to see because people are going to want to go see a show, and nobody is playing a big stadium show or a big arena show.
Plus, like you're talking about, are people still going to go out? I mean, yeah, okay. In 8 weeks, they're going to say, all right, we're going to lift the 15-person minimum or 10-person minimum or whatever. But are people going to really go out and sell out arenas or are they going to be scared? Like, well, it came around once. What's going to happen a second time? And that's why I think coming around with bars and the smaller gigs, I think theaters are going to thrive. Like 1,500, 2,500 seat theaters are going to do really well again. So it'd be nice to see it, but I really think the longer this drags on and the more it kind of cancels long run things. I know I saw country concerts in June, so they're still going on as scheduled, which I really hope come June it'll be good. I'm supposed to be going to Massachusetts in beginning of May for Mother's Day. I'm supposed to be in Boston on Mother's Day this year. I don't think we'll be there. So
it's gonna add in something, I think, from now on too to their contracts. Like when they're signing these contracts, it's gonna be like if something, let's say another type of pandemic happens, you're not gonna cancel out. Like I think it's gonna add in so many different new things for insurance wise, for those refunds. Like we're not gonna do refunds, we're just gonna reschedule it.
Yep.
There's gonna be so many different clauses and things like that going on. So it's gonna kick the music industry in the ass, but it's gonna come back. If it comes back to roots of playing bars, that's what it is. I mean,
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we are bouncing all over, and it's almost that time already. But we got a couple things we got to run through real quick. We kind of hit on your daytime job, but you are a teacher. What do you teach?
I teach at a school.
Oh, what? A certain grade, a certain class? I mean, what do you teach?
I teach third grade. I got 26 students.
Changing the world, man. One kid at a time.
Exactly. I can lift others up.
Yeah. That's why I pulled this picture, man, because you do every day, man.
My kids, I do an artist a day. I will just pull up somebody on Spotify, and I know some people have seen my Instagram, story. I'll just throw it on the Instagram story. I don't discriminate against any music because I've also got a record player in my room, and if they bring in a record, we'll play it. So
nice. All right.
The kids
you're close to Atlanta, so you do have a lot of different kids from all walks in your class.
Oh yeah, like I got kids bringing in Michael Jackson's Thriller album. I got kids bringing in the Charlie Brown. What is it, Vince? The I can't think of the name. The
trying to think too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Vince Vivaldi or whatever it is. Like
yeah.
And then I got kids bringing in country music, and it's awesome. I got kids bringing in rock and roll. Like I said, bring in anything, and they're like, my grandpa had this in his thing, and I had a kid bring in a New Edition. And I was like, oh, shit, let's put that on. Like we just sang "Cool It Now" the whole day. Cool.
That's awesome. So they sick and tired of hearing about Eric Church or what?
There's a few of them that do. They actually like hearing it because I'll put memes up and GIFs up on my board of different artists, but church mostly. Like, there's a bunch of gifts out there of Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Like one where he takes his sunglasses off and he's giving like that serious look, and I was like, "You when you don't follow directions," things like that. But just to show the kids, like, look, I'm just like y'all. I just want to have fun while we're here, but we got to learn too at the same time. So
Exactly. And I'm sure you implement that well, because you gotta. I mean, that's one thing in school. When I was going to school, I always wanted, because you gotta have like kind of the fun a little bit to kind of break up the learning. Because if all you're doing is learning all day long, you're just gonna get old. It's gonna get repetitive, and you need something to kind of keep you going. I mean, as an adult, I need that. I went to 2 training classes with my new job, and it's like, all right. Luckily, they had stress balls and they played little games in between.
We call those brain breaks. You got to have a brain break.
Exactly, and I mean that's what you need, and that's a good way to introduce like an artist or play some music and take the time out. And I love it, man. So, all right, dude. Well, we're gonna play a little game I do every week. I mean, I missed just doing it a couple weeks ago, but it's called the hot seat. I'm gonna ask you 9 questions that I got, and you got 60 seconds to get through them. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let me get music. All right. Your first Eric Church lyric you connected to?
Loud and Rowdy on PBR, and everybody knows that one.
Hell yeah. One song you would take out of Eric Church's catalog?
Michael.
Really?
Okay.
All right. I see where you went with it, though. I like that.
We've talked about that one. Michael's my jam, man. I wish I could hear that live.
Dream venue that you want to see a concert in that you've never been to?
I haven't been to the Gorge yet. So
nice. You got
y'all lucky. Y'all lucky fuckers got to the Gorge.
Lucky. I got lucky. My wife took me, so that's how I got lucky. All right. Your worst venue for a concert?
Oh.
Worst venue you've ever been to?
That's tough. Can't think of any. Like country, like the like fairgrounds, like any fairground.
Yeah.
Idiots around that don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you got through 4. We got through 4, so we'll keep on running through them. See, that's like I need to throw this timer out.
I'm sorry, I'm talking.
We never get through them. No, you're all good. Mine is always and will be Citibank or Cincinnati U.S. Bank. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the concourse is way too small. The bathrooms are way too outdated, and it is probably the worst stadium I think or arena I've ever been to. I just saw Heather say in chat she never had any cool teachers. I know, right? I didn't have any cool either. Yep. See, Johnson said it was Cincinnati's arena too. Yep. Yeah, I think it's U.S. Bank Arena. And what sucks is I've seen like the most concerts there for like the most random thing. I've seen Elton John there. I've seen Church there a bunch. I've seen Seeger there with Church.
Cincinnati is like a crap hole, though, man. It's like the city just died all of a sudden. Like the zoo, the buildings, the water, everything is like it just went downhill about 20.
Football team, no. That's where I think I saw when I said I saw the Cubs, everybody in the pit. I think we were in Cincinnati because we went to the Cubs game before, and they were playing the next day on Holding My Own, and they all went to the church show for a couple hours. It was Cincinnati though. So, all right, if you had to pick a crossroads, we kind of talked about this earlier, of 2 artists, so kind of like a CMT crossroads. Who would your 2 artists be?
With Eric, or
anybody?
Any 2 artists.
Any 2 artists. You get to build your own CMT crossroads. What 2 artists are you picking?
Yeah, I love some Alison Krauss. I'd love to see Alison Krauss with somebody like and you got to work with me here. Sam Cooke. I love Sam Cooke. I know he's 6 feet under somewhere, but Sam Cooke is one of my all-time favorite.
Can you imagine Alison Krauss doing
with Alison? Like, I don't know, that'd be weird to me.
That'd be
weird, but I don't care.
Krauss doing Chain Gang. She could do like the background, like the whoo.
Get a Ray Charles with somebody.
That'd be cool, man. All right, your best travel location to escape to. If you get a week vacation, where are you taking the family and going?
Somewhere I'm fishing.
Where's your favorite fishing hole?
My favorite fishing hole? There's a few around. I like to go little neighborhood ponds, but
nice.
there's a place out in got a local area called Rockmart.
Okay.
There's a bunch of farm ponds, and they're not like the stocked farm ponds. It's just they've been there forever, and those fish haven't been pressured as much. So just go and fish. But
All right.
somewhere with a good skate park. I don't know.
The strangest place Flat Strawberry has ever traveled.
Oh, the strangest. Okay, all right. So there's one place that I've heard where Flat Strawberry ended up. Evidently, my friends left Flat Strawberry, and the reason I did Flat Strawberry and Flat Chris is because of remember the old school Flat Stanley books. They did a Flat Eric a long time ago.
Yeah, it was Lee. I have a copy of her Flat Eric on the wall.
Yes, and Lee is one of the sweetest ladies in the world.
Love her.
I was like, you know what? Chris is going to all these shows. I'm gonna do a Flatberry, and so I made it Flat Chris. But evidently, they left Flatberry in an Uber or something. Like that. Jade and Rosie and Heather or somebody left me in an Uber, and I don't know where I'm at now. So
you should put the address on the back of it and see if it ever came back to you. Kind of like when you let a balloon go.
See, listen, Chris Johnson says in an Uber in Omaha.
I saw Heather in the chat just said Eric and Godsmack together. That actually would be a pretty cool combo.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Flat Strawberry made it to Toronto too. Look at that. Favorite fishing hole wherever they bite. But Johnson, you gotta admit though, we could talk about this here in a little bit when we go live, but you gotta admit though, everybody has a favorite fishing hole. I mean, not everybody wants to tell your favorite fishing hole, but you have. I mean, everybody has a place where if I go to this place, I know they're biting. We're gonna catch a couple type thing. Everybody has their one spot, I think. I mean,
that's one of the best ones Eric has too, though, is everyone should wet a line every now and then. Clark talk about that all the time and we just want like if I had a day to do something, I would just go fishing with Eric, and I don't think I'd ever talk about it. We'll talk about one damn bit.
One of the coolest things, and I think I might have mentioned it before on the show that I got to do, is I got to go fishing with Aaron Lewis. But this is like 1999 Aaron Lewis. So this is stained. Like they were opening up for Powerman 5000 $7. They were the first band on.
So it's been a while?
Yeah, it's been a while. It might have been before it was a while. I think it was just mud shovel at the time.
That's terrible. Sorry,
I saw him in Chicago, and then I went the next night and saw him in Rockford, Illinois. And where they were playing was right where the Rock River, I think it was, goes right through Rockford. And I think it used to be a festival up there called like On the Waterfront or something like that they used to do every summer. And I saw Aaron Lewis get off the bus, and I just kind of went up to him. I met him the night before, and I was like, "Oh, I saw your show in Chicago last night. You signed my ticket stub. Awesome, huge Stain fan." And he just looked up to me at a half joint in his mouth. He goes, "You fish?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Here's a pole." I was like,
"Hell yeah,
okay." So I got to go down to the river for like an hour. I was by myself. I went out there by myself.
Yeah, motherfucker, I hunt too.
Dude tossed me a fishing pole, and we went down to the water and got the fish for an hour with the guys. So I'm like, this is awesome. I just love it.
That's what artists need to do, man. Like that's where artists are, they're just people. And that's what I hate about like people that follow Eric and creep on him and find out where he's staying and all this stuff, or any artist for that matter. Like, no, when you see that artist at a bar, like for example, Rowdy,
Yep.
like he's always at Losers and Winners, whatever.
Yeah.
He was wearing like some goofy ass hula shirt, and I just went, "Hey man, great music you give us. Here's a drink."
Yeah.
Not trying to, "Hey, can I get a picture?" or to
exactly. I've mentioned before, I live really close to the Chicago Bears players, and it's the same thing. I'll run into Chicago Bears players in restaurants. I'm a huge Johnny Knox fan. He used to play for the Bears. And I'll run into him in the neighborhoods here and see him, but I ain't going to walk up and be like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan." There's one time I ran into Johnny Knox. He was at a barbecue joint getting takeout. And him and I left at the same time. We were in the parking lot. He was by himself, no family. I'm like, "Dude, I was a huge fan. Can I just grab a picture with you real quick?" But then like another time I saw him out with his wife and kids at a restaurant. I'm like, no, anybody that's going to, I mean, there's a time and place. If you go to a show and these guys are on stage and you wait around by a bus or something, they expect that But if they're out and about at a bar or something like that, like what you said, how you just slide a drink up there, like, dude, I really appreciate what you do. You're not trying to bother them. They're going to be cool as shit with you too.
Yeah. I mean, that's like for example, like I said, the first time I met Eric, they were walking away from the stage at the Braves stadium, and they're walking back to the bus, and I just walked over and I was like, hey, great show, appreciate you being here, go Braves. And then tried to get the picture real quick, and that was because he said, do you want a picture? And I was like, sure. Like, yeah, Jeff says, appreciate the music. Like anytime when I had the little meet and greet with Ashley the other night with Bryce, I stood off to the side until she said, do you want a picture too, Dad? And I was like, yeah. And I just said, thank you. Like, that's all you can say is thank you. Thank you. That's it. You don't got to tell no story how you changed my life. And I mean, that's good and all, but they don't want to hear that at that moment. They just want to hear I'm a regular, normal person. So
yep. I hear you. All right. Last two questions, man. And then we're going to let you go, and we're going to reset, and we're going to have a nice little fun roundtable discussion. That's where the alcohol, I think, is going to bust out with you guys, and it's going to be a fun time. Maybe Johnson's going to be stationary somewhere, but we're going to have a good time. So your best after show food. So any concert you go to, what are you getting after show? Where are you going?
It's Waffle House, baby.
Nice.
Waffle House. I'm getting a double quarter cheeseburger plate, hash browns, double order hash browns, scattered, smothered, and chunked, which means scattered, smothered with onions, and chunked with ham. And I'm getting a side large bowl because it costs the same as a small bowl of Birch chili. And Johnson and everybody can vouch for that. Waffle House is the place to go.
I was so upset. We were in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and I missed my Waffle House chance. They all got to go, and I was tired. I knew we had a long drive. I wanted to get a couple hours sleep. I'm like, y'all go, and I was get some sleep. I'm like, man, I'm kicking myself in the butt right now because I don't know when we're gonna get our chance for Waffle House.
Yes. Actually, I do want to commend you though. Y'all got a spot up there that we went to after the Chicago show. Burrito Taco King or something like that. BTK.
I never heard of this. I gotta check this out.
What was it called? It was like me and Taylor and Jason and Nina and Frazee and Chris, and man, I got a burrito the size of my arm and I demolished it.
That's one thing. Big burritos in Chicago.
It was killer. Oh, it was insanely good. So good.
They're talking about Waffle House now. All right. Last question I got. The best topping for a strawberry.
Best topping for a strawberry.
What is it? Chocolate or whipped cream? Where are you going with it?
Loaded question, bro. Honestly, I'll give it to you. Ready?
I had to throw that in there.
Terrible. No, dip strawberries in sugar. Just dip them in sugar. Simple as
really?
You ever done that?
No.
Got to dip a strawberry in sugar.
All right.
It will change your life. Change your life. Oh man.
Taylor's saying that place was delicious that you guys went to after Chicago. How about check it out? BTK or something?
It was like Burrito Taco King or something like that. Like TBK Taco. It was some burrito place, man, and this place was fire. Oh my god. I wanted to get another one. I wanted to go the next night.
I typed in BTK Chicago. Don't do that, guys. Apparently, there was a BTK killer.
Yes. Heather said chocolate with strawberries. Chocolate covered strawberries are good. Yes.
Oh, look, I don't know.
Anyway, but this burrito place, man, I took a picture of it, and they were laughing at me because I hardly talked the whole time we were eating. Jason was over there passed out. Mitch and Taylor were laughing because I was scarfing my face down. But
I asked Frazee this last week. Before I let you go, I'll ask one more question. What's the best city for tacos?
Honestly, I haven't had too many tacos in too many cities. I'm not a big traveler.
TBK, Taco Burrito King, Greek Town.
Okay.
That sound right?
Taco?
I don't know. Does that sound right?
It's something like that.
In Chicago? It looks like it's on downtown. Was it downtown you guys went?
It was awesome.
Closed at 3:30 a.m. or right now it's closed right now. Heather says she likes her strawberry and chocolate, so we'll leave things at that. So, all right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go.
I got some for Heather.
I appreciate you joining us tonight, man. It's been an awesome time. Go ahead, reset for a few minutes, and we'll jump back on here in a few minutes. All right, man?
Cool deal.
All right, dude. You take care, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have fun. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming on, dude. All right, guys. This is another awesome show. 16 minutes overtime right now, so I knew it was going to go over. I'm going to kind of rush through our last little bit of stuff, but don't forget, we are going to be in probably about 9:45-ish or so. We're going to be over here on Patreon. Well, it's not going to be on Patreon. It's going to be on our private Facebook group. And all you got to do is be a $5 private sponsor or up this week. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just keep it going for a little bit. I'll go ahead and keep the private sponsoring up for the after show going for a few weeks while this whole Corona thing's going on. We'll do that. And kind of just as a little way, just to kind of say thank you guys for helping out, support the show, and keeping the show going. I'll provide especially next week's going to be a good one. It's going to be a really good after show. But I'll provide the after show if you're a private sponsor or up for the first couple weeks here on season 2. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys are already a sponsor on Patreon, thank you so much for that. Tonight's going to be a great way to kick off this new season of Patreon after shows. So I'll go ahead and share the link one more time. And like I said, just a $5 sponsor. If you guys are cool with that, to go ahead and watch the show. We do give a certain percentage back of all proceeds in the next 3 months. They are going to the tornado victims in Nashville. I think it's going to be Hands on Nashville is where I'm going to give it to once I have a compile. Thanks, Jeremy. But yeah, once I get a total of all 3 months, I'm going to go ahead and give one big payment to a charity there in Nashville to help with the tornado victims. And it's so great to see everything that everybody's been doing and out there in Nashville. Okay, I get back to Nashville now and get some good sorry. I get some good Waffle House we were talking about. But hey, next week, go ahead and tune in if you can. I cannot wait. I don't know why I hear my music playing. There we go. Also, my music starts playing. That's the music I wanted to play. But
the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo
week,
Revolution.
Ray Scott.
As we close the
Don't
book
miss
on
it.
another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.